Time now is 6:34, and here's your COVID-19 headlines. The World Health Organization just announced a bleak milestone. Europe has surpassed 1 million deaths linked to COVID. That includes the 53-country region. France today is on track to become the fourth European country to pass 100,000 deaths individually. More and more churches and schools are becoming trusted COVID vaccine sites in Dallas County, and more convenient for some than hubs, the big hubs we see around the area. So Hamilton Park United Methodist Church in North Dallas is among the latest, and so is DeSoto High School. Each has partnered with a health system or a pharmacy. And Dallas County residents can now schedule a same-day or next-day appointment for their first dose of vaccine. The county has launched a new vaccination scheduler on its website for shots at the Fair Park Hub. If you are 55 or older, you do not need an appointment. Just a reminder, just show up with your photo ID. And the pandemic is causing another shortage, so bubble tea products, also called boba, are becoming harder to find. The tapioca used to make them is imported from Taiwan, and it's now tough to come by. Industry-wide, some boba shops are already out. Are you taking a flight this year? We have been asking you that all morning. Maybe this summer you're changing it up. Let us know. Use the app and go ahead and vote, or go to WFA.com/vote now. We're asking because American Airlines is expected to get back to pre-pandemic travel numbers by this summer. Almost 60% of you say yes, you are going to be taking a flight. So even though a new CDC report sheds some light on spreading COVID inside the plane, Errol Placencia joining us live this morning to explain.
Yeah, hey, good morning, Kara. So, now that the COVID-19 vaccine rollout is in full swing, lots of people starting to think about their summer travel plans. And with this in mind, American Airlines announced 150 new summer routes yesterday. And those do include 2 new routes for DFW Airport, one to Bangor, Maine, and then another to Burlington, Vermont. Air travel more or less came to a halt last year in 2020 thanks to the pandemic. But American Airlines is expecting a busy summer of travel for 2021, estimating it will fly more than 90% of its domestic capacity compared to summer 2019. Now, earlier this month, the CDC said Americans who are fully vaccinated can travel within the United States and do not need COVID-19 testing or to do a post-travel self-quarantine. Now, in a study released yesterday, the CDC said blocking middle seats on airplanes reduces the risk of COVID-19 exposure. The research found that keeping the middle seat vacant led to a 23 to 57% reduction in passengers being exposed to viable virus particles. Something else to consider, the data for this study was collected before the pandemic began, so the effects of passengers wearing masks were not measured. Now, Delta Airlines, the last U.S. airline still blocking middle seats, will end that policy next month. Now, multiple airlines, including American Airlines and Southwest, deferred to their trade organization, that's Airlines for America, for comment when it comes to the CDC study. And that organization did point out to the safety measures that airlines have in place, including proper ventilation as well as mask requirements. Kara.
So again, we're asking if you are going to take a flight this summer, and 60% of you say that you will. That's actually the most we've had this morning. Good Morning America will have much more on this study and take a closer look at rising airfares because they are going up. If you are flying, you probably want to book now.